Welcome to Real Estate. It's that simple. My name is Rick Garcia. I'm along with real estate virtuoso, Phil Nordella.
You change that every week. I'm impressed.
Well, thank you. Welcome to our show. It's just like the show to get in the way of our conversation a few moments ago.
Exactly right. Yep.
So fancy that. You're looking forward to the weekend, Phil? Things kind of opening up a little bit more, and some decent numbers on the economic front.
The stock market has been soaring, obviously, which is a terrific thing. They came out with new unemployment figures, and they were saying that 13.5 million people are unemployed, opposed to, I think, there were 30 million before, and that's a great sign. And so everything's looking up. I mean, we're starting to release some things. I'm hoping that the coronavirus the numbers still stay good there. I'm a little bit concerned with everybody out and having fun and doing the protest, which I think is an awesome thing for them to do. I'm just concerned in a couple of weeks to see what happens. So we're going to obviously be monitoring that carefully.
Yeah, health-wise, I have to tell you, the biggest thing that happened to me today, got my haircut appointment.
Oh, good for you! I'm so happy. I'm so happy.
Excited about that. Listen, we know that there's a lot of stuff going on currently in the country. Locally as well, we're affected by a lot of the things going on. You mentioned the protests, the COVID-19. There's a lot of stuff happening. We hope that all of you stay safe, to all of you and your families. Regardless of how you've been touched by this, we wish the best for you. In the meantime, we do know that just based on your business, Phil, that life goes on as far as folks trying to figure out what they're going to do with their families, where they're going to live, where they're going to go next. So buying and selling continues, and we're going to do our best to try to make that as easy as possible for you on the show. That's why it's called Real Estate. It's that simple. You ready for our first guest, Bill?
Actually, you know what? Just one more second. I'd like to actually give a shout out. I've got some clients that actually they live over in Friendly Valley. Dennis and Joy Pritchard, awesome people. We sold them something in Friendly Valley. I think they're going to be moving here pretty soon because they're going to go with their family back to Colorado, and so we'll actually pitch that on the show also. However, I want to tell them hi, and like I said, they're listening, and I appreciate it. And Friendly Valley, though, Friendly Valley is an interesting area. Did you know that the Friendly Valley, you can actually play golf with the HOA fees? You play free golf.
Part of the fees, part of the dues.
Part of the fees. They've got a 9-hole executive course over there, which is a lot less than the $1,000 a month that we were paying over at Valencia Country Club, which is a terrific country club. If you're listening to the show and you've thought about a career in real estate, you know that you have to get your license. There are different ways to do that. I recently got my license. Actually, got it last year. I was challenged by Phil to get my license. I've invested quite a bit in real estate over the years. I come from a family of realtors, and so Phil said, "Hey, why don't you should get your license and maybe do something with that." And I said, "You should get a radio show, Mister. Don't talk to me like that." And so we challenged each other, and here we are. Yep. When it was time for me to get my license and do my studying, I had to, I wanted to do my homework. Phil made his suggestions to me. I did my due diligence, and I wound up doing my studying and getting my online classes from a company called Real Estate Trainers, RET. And as we've been talking about lining up guests for the show, I for the longest time I'm saying, "Hey, Phil, let's find out if somebody from Real Estate Trainers wants to be part of the show," because it turns out that for me, and I know things are different for everybody. Somebody might want to go through college. Somebody might want to use a different online source or different ways to do that. But for me, it worked the best for me. So we thought it'd be great to have Lance McHarg on the show. Real Estate Trainers has helped thousands of people not only get their real estate salesperson and broker's licenses, but also can help you get your mortgage loan originator's license and appraisal license. It's a family-owned business since 1972, and Lance has been the president since 1991, and we'd like to welcome Lance McHarg to Real Estate. It's that simple. Welcome, Lance. How are you?
Good morning, Rick and Phil. I'm doing well, thank you.
Terrific. Hey, you know what?
Glad
I
to be
got
on
to
the
tell
show.
you. Well, we're really happy to have you. Thank you so much for being here. I got to thank you. Okay, I'm just going to put that out there. When I got my license, I used you for your cram class. It helped me so much that when I actually took the test, they give you, I think, 2.5 hours. I took the cram class, and not only did I feel like that helped me and gave me the confidence to pass it, but I was out in less than an hour. And it was amazing, and I thank you for that. Not only do I thank you for that, but this was 28 years ago. But you guys being there and doing such a good job and helping people get licensed. I was able to build my company from when I bought into 100 agents to over 500 agents, and that actually was instrumental in my livelihood. But it's interesting now. I didn't know that you actually did the mortgage loan originators or the appraisal. What would you say? What are the percentages, would you say, when it comes to actually real estate and brokers opposed to the mortgage loan originators and the appraisals? What would you say the percentage of each would be that you do?
Well, first of all, Phil, that was very nice to hear that you refer people over real estate trainers. And, we've had tens of thousands, literally, and not figuratively, people coming through real estate trainers since 1972, changing their life, changing their career, and I'm just humbled by that, so that we could, help people change their lives with getting a real estate license. But as far as, we do the three things. Actually, we do more. We do real estate licensing, mortgage loan originator, and we do appraisal, and then a few other things. But right now, because interest rates are so low, the mortgage loan originator licensing is really hot. And a lot of real estate licensees are doing the additional education to get that mortgage loan originator endorsement so that they can do loans as well.
Absolutely.
Lance, you're a family-owned business. You've been doing this since, as we mentioned, since 1972. I think when Phil took the test, there were 5 questions.
Hey, there were 7 questions.
When he took the horse and carriage to the test location.
Hey.
I think we're at is 150, if I'm not mistaken. And by the way, I didn't take it too long ago, but I think it's about 150. How much has the test changed, would you say, over the years?
Well, the test is always changing. The test is, in my opinion, getting more difficult. When Phil took it, there was more math on the state exam. When you took it, there was 0 math on your state exam.
One question.
And no math, which makes that more, I guess, easier for a lot of people who don't like math. But, well, let me give you a couple of items that we've heard that could be on the state exam, and you tell me how easy this question is. Question. There are so many links to a rod, blah, blah, blah. What does this describe? Now, nowhere in your real estate pre-license education are you going to see anything about links, rods, what is it? And if you do, it's in this huge paragraph, and you just breeze right over it, and not knowing what they're talking about. And why is that on the state exam? Here's another one. What's the average depth of a standard closet? Why is that important for a real estate licensee to really know? But those are things that you could see on the state exam. And so it's difficult in that way because there's oddball questions that you don't really see in the pre-license education, and nobody teaches it to you. And you can't look it up on your cell phone while you're testing because they confiscate your cell phone before you go into the testing. So it's difficult in that manner. And that's why the crash course is so important.
Yeah, you guys are famous for your crash course. I mean, you're famous for your crash course. In fact, I know that other real estate schools send you their clients to actually take the cram courses through you. And I think it's whatever you've done, it's genius. And I know that you're constantly working on the cram classes. Why? Explain a little bit what a cram class is to the people so that they understand it, and why is yours so great?
Sure. There's schools that offer online, pre-recorded DVDs and stuff like that. There's one-day cram courses, 2-day cram courses. We have a 2-day cram course, and we feel that a one-day cram course doesn't hit everything that needs to be discussed to be able to pass the state exam. And the cram course is an entire weekend, Saturday, Sunday, for 8 hours each day. So it's like going to work with breaks and lunch and that kind of thing. But you're in there, the instructor is giving you information to help the students to be able to pass the state exam. And it sounds kind of boring, and it sounds kind of dry, and for the most part, it could be. But our instructors make it very lively, have interaction with the students, insert humor when humor is warranted, and 16 hours goes by super fast.
It's funny that I actually remember. Sorry, Rick, I don't mean to interrupt you, but it's funny that I actually remember a couple of the questions that they had that they went over in the cram class that you gave me, and I remember them to this day, of how they worded it and it was genius. It was like, and I still remember to this day. So I mean, it's like, okay, so if you've actually done something that I was supposed to remember for a few days before I took the test, and I've remembered it for the last 28 years, is genius. Anyway, sorry, Rick.
Yes, Lance McHarg is our guest. He's from Real Estate Trainers. So if you're thinking about getting your salesperson or broker's licenses, or perhaps a mortgage loan originator's license, or even appraisal license, you can get in touch with Real Estate Trainers. We'll tell you how to do that at the end of the interview with Lance. So Lance, one of the things talking about the cram class is I love it. Every so often, your instructor will give you some tips, some techniques as to how, because you can load your mind with all the information you want, but sometimes it's nice to have some kind of strategies on what to look for in a question. For example, one of the things I learned was if you have a really, 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 really long question, chances are the last sentence of that question is really, truly the question. So you don't want to get bogged down and getting nervous about having these big, long questions. Once you get to that last sentence, that kind of gives you an idea. But now we've got a new challenge to all of this with the coronavirus. With your cram classes, when will they be in person, A, and B, are you doing them virtually in the meantime?
Yes, and we are doing the cram courses virtually. Now, the Department of Real Estate had shut down the state exam for several months, and because of that, we stopped doing the cram courses, because why do it if they're not testing? But they have recently started the testing, so we are every weekend doing cram courses virtually on a webinar platform where the student is at home or at their office or wherever they're at, and viewing it from their computer or their cell phone. And they're able to see the PowerPoints, they're able to see the instructor, they're able to chat with the instructor using a chat box. And if there's any questions from the students, the instructor is able to answer those questions. And so it's almost like being at the classroom itself. As far as opening up the classroom, with this COVID-19 and the government making changes on a daily basis, making changes as well. We have to make those changes. I'm looking at probably in class the second weekend of July is what I'm looking as a comfortable in class with social distancing, of course, and everything that goes along with that. I want to make sure that my in-class students are safe and secure and healthy and all that stuff.
So now I know you're excited about the new programs that you're rolling out. Tell us about those.
Yeah, there's a couple of new programs. We also have workshops for brand new licensees who, are kind of struggling with their license. So we have workshops. We have coaching, fantastic coaching program, which is extremely cost effective compared to other coaching programs out there. And our coach, Tricia, she's phenomenal as far as getting the information to the new licensee to do better at their new practice. And then we have what's called a broker affiliate program, so that brokers and real estate company owners can partner up with real estate trainers, and we can help them with their recruiting efforts and getting the right newly licensed agents to that broker. And so we have those programs going on. And one more thing I want to say, here at Real Estate Trainers, we have excellent office staff as far as really taking care of our students. When a student calls in, we make sure that student is getting the right program for what their needs are, and then also our instructors are phenomenal instructors. I take painstaking hours to get the right instructor into our program, and there's many people who think that they can instruct that I just say no, it's not a good fit, because you have to have the right personnel in the right positions.
Lance, we've had you think about we've been dealing with fires and viruses and all kinds of challenges, and yet sales in real estate are 10% over where they were last year at this time. So the big question is, get out the crystal ball. What do you see the future of real estate sales being?
Well, Rick, real estate sales is a people person type of business. You're always going to need a person to do and help with the transaction. I mean, you have a lot of technology nowadays, and over 90, probably 98% of the people who are looking to get a real estate license, who are looking for a house, will search online and find the house that they want. But normally, the contracts are so humongous. You got to have that person to help with contracts, to show the property, to explain the goods and the bads. And so I think even though we have technology, and there's brokers out there who are doing gimmicks and stuff like that, it's a people person type of position, job. And so I think that real estate right now is very healthy, with values staying where they are and slowly creeping up, with interest rates being down. I think even with COVID-19, I know real estate agents and brokers who are extremely busy even today.
Well, you know what? I thank you very much for having such a professional company, because, like I said, you were instrumental in having my livelihood be successful. And you know what? You've changed a lot of lives, because that test isn't easy, and you've made it easier for people. You've helped people actually, change their livelihood, change their business. And I've helped train some people that went from just barely making it to just having a wonderful, wonderful life with their family. So thank you so much for doing that and being there for them.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Lance McHarg is president of Real Estate Trainers. Lance, how can folks find out more about the school online?
Online, they could go to our website, which is retrainers, CA like California.com. So that's retrainersca.com. And if anybody wants to shoot us an email, they could email us at info@retrainersca.com. And the old-fashioned way, over the telephone, that phone number is 800-282-2352.
And by the way, that's a great a resource. While you are studying, they have folks there that can help you answer your questions. If you have an issue with a certain chapter or something in mind that you're working on, you don't understand, there are folks there that can help you through some of that.
Absolutely.
Lance, thanks so much for joining us on Real Estate. It's that simple. We appreciate that.
Really appreciate it.
Rick, Phil, thank you so much, and hope to talk to you guys soon again. Thank you.
Stay safe.
Excellent. Enjoy your weekend.
Yeah. Thank you.
Well, with everything that's been going on, Phil, excuse me, as if there wasn't enough paperwork for in the contract, a real estate contract. So more paperwork if you're buying or selling homes, and so we want to look at, I guess, the fine print, you could say. So we're going to check in with our legal expert when we come back on Real Estate. It's that simple.
If you're thinking of selling your home, have Phil Nordella come out and give you a free, no obligation property valuation. Just call 661-312-3561. It's that simple.
At iLead Agua Dulce, we believe the most important thing a child can learn in school is who they are. Life's real tests are never standardized, which is why we've developed an individual-based curriculum that values exploration, cooperation, and creativity. As our learners grow, so do we. Our tuition-free charter school is currently enrolling grades TK through 7th and adding 8th grade in 2020. Your young learner will be immersed in a unique environment where possibility and self-discovery are at the core of every experience. The Agua Dulce campus features beautiful indoor and outdoor spaces for hands-on inspiration, including a robotics lab, a garden bed, a greenhouse, and a technology-based exploratorium. iLead Agua Dulce is conveniently located on the east side of the Santa Clarita Valley, just off the 14 freeway. Check out our homeschool options too. To schedule a campus tour or learn more about our programs, visit iLeadAguaDulce.org. We're enrolling now. iLead Schools. Free to think, inspired to lead.
Take the stress out of moving. Affordable Quality Moving and Storage has been owned and operated in Santa Clarita since 1996. They excel at relieving you of the pressures of moving. You can be assured your belongings are safe and will arrive at your new location, whether it's down the street or across the country. Discover the difference. AQMS, Affordable Quality Moving and Storage. Read the reviews online at aqmsnationalmoving.com. AQMS, Santa Clarita's favorite moving company.
This is Bradley Gross from Santa Clarita Grocery. Santa Clarita Grocery serves fresh groceries to families, individuals, and those experiencing homelessness. At Santa Clarita Grocery, out of every dollar donated, a full 99 cents goes directly to the needs being addressed. As an all-volunteer-led organization, we operate on a 1% overhead, receiving no government funding for our operations in the community, resulting in us being one of the most efficient charities in the Santa Clarita Valley. If you're looking to support the good for our community, please consider partnering with us by donating to Santa Clarita Grocery. What is donated is specifically kept in the Santa Clarita Valley, helping over 3,000 families, including 5 other community charities. Please visit our website, santaclaritagrocery.org, or visit us on social media or call us at 425-7575. That's 425-7575.
Donahoe & Young is your award-winning go-to law firm for all real estate matters, including the changing legal landscape due to COVID-19. In addition, Donahoe & Young can help you create an estate plan that accomplishes your wishes, protects you and your family, and avoids time-consuming and expensive California probate. If you've been financially devastated by the pandemic, Donahoe & Young can help you with debt negotiation and, whenever needed, bankruptcy under Chapter 7, 11, and 13. Visit Taylor Williams at DonahoeYoung.com.
Hi, I'm Eric Goldhurst, Head of Operations for Burger King North America. Throughout this time, we've taken steps to take care of our guests.
And since we know many of your jobs have been affected by this crisis,
we want to help make sure you're taken care of too.
If you are looking for work, we are hiring.
And there's a spot on our team for you.
We know that we'll get through this together, as long as we keep taking care of each other.
For more information, call 253-3283. That's 253-3283. Let's talk about insurance. Are your rates skyrocketing year after year, or do you feel like you would benefit from a professional advisor that works for you? Give the great team at Voy Insurance Solutions a call. Voy works with dozens of the best insurance companies to help you obtain competitive rates and comprehensive coverage. Homeowners, auto, business, and life insurance. Voy Insurance. Right price, right coverage, right now. Mention the Phil Nordella Show and get a free $10 Starbucks card. Visit voyinsurance.com. That's voinsurance.com.
The City of Santa Clarita is working closely with the Los Angeles County Department of Public Health to monitor the coronavirus COVID-19. On March 13th, the City of Santa Clarita issued a local emergency declaration in response to the coronavirus pandemic. Due to the stay-at-home order, the Santa Clarita events like Thursdays at Newhall and the Cowboy Festival have been put on hold for the safety of the community. For information, go to santa-clarita.com. For important updates, visit the emergency blog at santaclaritaemergency.com.
Castle Inspection is the top choice for home inspection in Santa Clarita. With over 20 years experience, make Castle Inspection your choice when buying your new condominium or home. From mobile homes to mansions, the outhouse to the penthouse, your best bet is a net from Castle Inspection. An inspection is a fair and objective evaluation of the home's physical and mechanical systems. Expert knowledge, thorough research, and clear communication are what sets a net at Castle above the rest. Schedule your appointment online now at castleinspection.com.
Marla Ferris at Augusta Financial is the consummate mortgage professional, committed to helping you turn your dream of homeownership into reality. With more than 22 years in the finance mortgage industry, Marla brings extensive experience and top knowledge to help make your loan experience hassle-free. Given her honesty, integrity, and attention to detail, she is the loan officer you can trust. Marla knows what it takes to get you the best loan, the best rate, and the best service in the industry. You'll find Marla Ferris at Marla, FERRIS.com.
Your hometown station.
KHTS is the only station I listen to.
98.1 FM and AM 1220.
Welcome back to Real Estate It's That Simple. I'm Rick Garcia along with real estate virtuoso Phil Nordella. We're doing the home show as we continue with our social distancing. I have a feeling we'll be in the studio again before you know it. Listen, things change all the time in the business of real estate. Real estate contracts have been a headache since the beginning of time, I would imagine. And so we have to kind of parse it out and try to do our best to break it down. That's why we're going to bring in our real estate legal expert, Taylor Williams. She's a partner at Donahoe and Young. And welcome back to the show, Taylor. We appreciate it.
Hi, guys. Thanks for having me.
Hey, how are you?
Hanging in, working from home. So I think like most of us are.
And you know what, Rick, you had mentioned something about going back into the studio. I'm not. I kind of like this. I don't know. You know, maybe there's a way we could. I know we're on Facebook Live and it's not as exciting, but this is kind of fun. Actually,
you're still welcome to wear those onesie pajamas to the studio if you'd like. I like the ones with the little dinosaurs, especially. Those are cute, Phil.
No, you know my
Phil,
favorite.
Get that in writing.
Oh yeah, I love that.
You know, it's spoken like a lawyer.
That's perfect. Okay, so here's the interesting thing, Taylor. Tell us about this. Obviously, the coronavirus has actually brought more contracts, addendums, and all of those things into the real estate transaction. And tell us the interesting thing that's happening with this notice of unforeseen coronavirus circumstance contract that we've got. What's going on with that?
Yeah, so we talked about this. So it's the CAR form, like you said, Notice of Unforeseen Coronavirus Circumstances, and it's labeled 1 A, B, C, D. So A, B, C has specific boxes that you can check, which actually makes sense. So if there is an unforeseen circumstance regarding it's loan-related, you lost your job, you can no longer get your loan. You have to delay a home inspection. It's a personal impact issue. Someone in your family has been diagnosed with COVID and you're not able to leave. Those things make sense. But then D is kind of the wild, wild west. It says other. So it's going to be a case-by-case basis depending on what people write in that other. At the bottom, it says that the affected party, buyer, seller's signature both need to sign it. So the thing that we've been recommending to our clients is caution and just make sure that you read it, and even more, maybe even have an attorney read it, because other for us, especially in the legal profession, is the wild, wild west. Other could be anything, right? So we just want to make sure that people understand what they're signing. And I understand from you, Phil, our conversation, that this has caused a lot of headaches in the last couple of weeks. And so if you are going to check that box and try to write something in, it should be specific and decently worded, which I think you can have an attorney help you with that. That's my opinion.
Right.
I always find it interesting because if you do transactions, like I've done transactions, I've bought and sold properties in the state of Tennessee, the state of Texas, when everything goes into escrow, it goes through a lawyer's office. I always found that fascinating. And out here, these contracts are so complicated, and it's rare, I think. And Phil, maybe you can address this. I think it's rare that people actually have a lawyer look over these contracts. They pretty much put a lot of faith into their agents.
Yeah, you know, escrow is an actual having an escrow company. That's a West Coast thing, and I don't know exactly where it stops when it comes to going from the coast to the West Coast to east. I don't know where it stops, but you get to a point where you don't have escrow companies. You actually have attorneys that actually are your closing agents. But I think the problem that we've got in this is and you could maybe agree or disagree with me, Taylor, is that because this hit so quickly, and because of the fact that these contracts were done so quickly, is that people are now trying to take advantage of using the idea of the contract to be able to break a contract, and we had used the thing get out of jail free, and it says that if for some reason you're in escrow and you get to a point where you actually release all your contingencies, which means basically you're done, right? I mean, you've gone over all of the steps, correct? And then all of a sudden now somebody says, you know what, I don't think I want it. And now they're actually trying to take, I'm not saying everybody, I'm just saying that there are a few bad apples when it comes to people trying to take advantage, that they try to take advantage of this coronavirus thing and say, you know what, we want out, so let's see if we can't use this coronavirus notice of unforeseen coronavirus circumstances and see if we can't actually just bail on this. And that's a problem, and I think you know what I mean. I mean that's where we're going with that with some people, and that's going to give you more business, obviously, because people are fighting that. I would imagine some of the sellers are fighting it, and saying no, right?
Right. I mean, exactly what you said. I mean, so just because this hit quickly, and it doesn't mean that people are trying to rush sales. I mean, a home purchase is a huge deal, right? And selling a home is a huge deal, and so. We have people that call us all the time. Hey, I trust my broker, my realtor. I just want to make sure that the contract is sound. And we review RPAs all the time. I really think it's worth, the flat fee that we charge to have it done. But I completely agree with you, Phil, that I think people are trying to take advantage of the situation. I was speaking to my partner, Markion, yesterday about this. And the I don't think I want it, as you called it, Phil, excuse, that's not an excuse. That's not something that's going to hold up in court. The reason that I mentioned the 1D other check mark is because who knows what's going to be in there, and I think there's going to be a lot of litigation moving forward interpreting these contracts. I mean, courts usually like to see parties acting in good faith, and I think that's what everybody is trying to do right now. But as you said, there are also some bad apples, so we'll just have to see how it pans out.
Taylor Williams is a partner at Donahoe & Young. She's joining us on real estate. It's that simple. As an attorney, when you just look at any basic real estate transaction, what gives you the biggest headache, Taylor?
People signing things without reading it. So I understand, especially.
By the way, that's everybody. That is everybody.
I know. Well, I'm thinking about buying a car soon, and I was talking to my fiance about it. I'm like, I'm going to have to read every single page. He's like, really? So I joke about it, but this is important, and I think that's why it is important to hire an attorney, because there is so much fine print, as you said, Phil, that's in there. And then once both parties sign, unless there is some unconscionability or some other undue influence or something like that, that's a binding contract, and any ambiguity goes against the drafter. But then again, you're going to have to go in court and litigate it, and no one wants to do that. So it's just reading it and understanding in layman terms exactly what it says, because they're all written by lawyers. And sometimes when I read contracts, I don't even understand what they're saying sometimes. So it's just parsing it out and understanding exactly what it means, and exactly, especially with a mortgage, what you're binding yourself to for 30 plus years. Yep.
And it's funny because, like I said before, your average addendum or contract has been actually fine-tuned and polished for years and years and years and years and years, and this is what we've come down to. But when you actually throw in a virus and say, okay, now we're going to throw some more contracts in here, and we're going to do them within the week, okay? So right. You've got different
things they're not well written when they're rushed.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And therefore, obviously, when that's the case, people will try to take advantage of them. So it's interesting also, you've got a lot of people that are having issues when it comes to loans and things like that, when it comes to them being furloughed. Have you found that there's been a problem yet? And I think you might, and you might not know this yet because it hasn't really hit. But a lot of times when people get furloughed or they forbear their loan, go into forbearance on their loan, and then they realize that even though the mortgage company had said there won't be any sort of repercussions. Do you find that they're a little bit upset when they find out maybe if they go to their lender and then they realize that because they did do a forbearance, that they can't get a loan for at least maybe a year? Have you seen any of that yet?
I haven't. I know you and I spoke about this yesterday, but I can anticipate that is something that may happen in the future. I mean, companies are suffering, individuals are suffering, and that's why I think on the show a couple of weeks ago I had mentioned if you're going to take advantage of maybe not paying your mortgage for the 3 months or whatever it is, depending on your lender, make sure you know exactly what it says, and especially for people who are planning on listing their house, if they're taking advantage of not paying the mortgage at that time and then they're trying to get a new loan for a new property. I think, Phil, you had mentioned that there have been issues with that. So again, it's just all in the paperwork, which is unfortunate.
Well, and every mortgage company is different too. I mean, some have been very patient and willing to work with their customers, and as is the case in in life, there are others that I think haven't been so willing to work with customers or are going to make it as difficult as possible. So you really have to do your due diligence and your homework. And you mentioned that to have somebody, because most of the time we don't get a lawyer involved in our real estate deals. If somebody wanted that peace of mind, is it expensive? If I want to, say, here's my real estate contract, Taylor, would you look at it? What would it cost me to do that?
Of course. So expensive is a relative term. Usually when I talk to potential clients, we have an initial consult, which our firm offers a 30-minute consult as long as you give us the paperwork. And if I'm looking at 2 pages versus 200 pages, it's going to be a different rate. But typically we do a flat fee, which is usually less than $1,000, depending on how many pages it is. And especially if you're buying property, especially in California, 600, 700,000, over $1 million, it's worth it to kind of spend that amount of money just to have that peace of mind, like you were saying, Rick.
Okay. If folks want to get in touch with you, how would they do that?
Sure. So you can call our office. It's 661-259-9000, or you can look us up on our website, which is donahoeyoung.com.
Excellent.
Awesome.
Taylor Williams, a partner at Donahoe & Young, thank you so much for sharing your insight. We appreciate that.
Thank you for being here for us.
Thank you, guys. Of course. Thanks, guys.
Coming up on Real Estate, It's That Simple. We're going to take a look at the numbers when we come back.
If you're thinking of selling your home, have Phil Nordella come out and give you a free, no obligation property valuation. Just call 661-312-3561. It's that simple.
If you're looking for an SUV-based home design firm you can trust, look no further. Style My Space is a recognized leader in luxury vacant home staging and interior design projects for all of northern Los Angeles County since 2006. Their 5-star reputation for beautiful staging installations helps sellers realize up to 10% higher offers in as little as 1/3 the time as non-staged homes. Get an instant quote on our website at stylemyspace.com. That's stylemyspace.com.
Marla Ferris at Augusta Financial is the consummate mortgage professional, committed to helping you turn your dream of homeownership into reality. With more than 22 years in the finance mortgage industry, Marla brings extensive experience and top knowledge to help make your loan experience hassle-free. Given her honesty, integrity, and attention to detail, she is the loan officer you can trust. Marla knows what it takes to get you the best loan, the best rate, and the best service in the industry. You'll find Marla Ferris at marlaferris.com.
Owning Corporation, Equal Housing Lender, licensed by the Department of Business Oversight under the California Residential Mortgage Lender Act, NMLS 1797976, California DRE license 02063270. Call 833-852-6464 for terms and conditions.
Crazy things are going on in the world right now, like owning funding 15-year fixed refis at 2.5 rate and APR. Yes, you heard correctly, 2.5 rate and APR with no fees of any kind. Needless to say, people are going to owning.com for this free closer rate and APR like mad. In fact, if you have both a real estate and mortgage license, we may want to hire you. Look, money is so dirt cheap, most folks are taking cash out of their equity to do just about anything, including sticking it into their bank accounts, just to have it there. Wouldn't you be crazy not to go to owning.com and grab 2.5 APR? No closing costs, no nonsense money while it's out there? Call 855-5-OWNING or go to owning.com to not miss these monthly savings. 855-5-OWNING.
I love it.
Right on!
Your hometown station.
Welcome back to Real Estate It's That Simple. I'm Rick Garcia along with Phil Nordella. And, all right, Phil, so here we are going into the weekend. Another weekend as we get hopefully closer to opening things up and around town and in society, people getting a little more confident when it comes to buying and selling homes.
I'm hopeful. I'm actually very hopeful. I think we're starting to roll out things. I'm hoping that the protest didn't bring on any extra coronavirus things, but I think that we'll see that within a couple weeks. And I'm hopeful. The stock market's doing great. Interest rates are incredible. Believe it or not, Santa Clarita, when it comes to our numbers, they're up from last year. And it's amazing. It tells you how strong real estate is when it comes to having all of these things happen. We've taken so many punches to the solar plexus over the last 3 or 4 months that it's amazing that we can still say that real estate sales are up, and they're going to get better.
How about this then? Why don't we get a little more in depth and look at those numbers?
Okay, we're going to do that.
Like right now.
Right now.
At
Patrick,
this moment, Patrick.
We're going to go right into the numbers. You know what? Hey,
I think we're on our own. Okay, there we go. I was a little nervous that nobody was flying the plane, Phil, and it was like a really bad B or a C movie where you and I as passengers have to run to the cockpit and try to land this thing.
So much for them saying the flight is on autopilot. All right, Patrick, that's good. Okay, hey, listen. So it's interesting. Active listings right now, Santa Clarita. Okay, and remember, again, we have to break down Santa Clarita. There's 8 different areas. Okay, I'm going to go over them real quick. Valencia, Saugus, Stevenson Ranch, Castaic, Newhall, Canyon Country, Acton, and Agua Dulce. Okay, that makes up Santa Clarita. We went from active listings 448 last week down to 426. Okay, which is good. I mean, that tells us that we've got some things going on, a lot of new listings out there, not as many as we had the week before. However, active under contracts and pending, we went from 454 to 507, which means the buyers are out there. So if you're thinking about getting something, these people are saying, okay, look, we're social distancing, we're doing all of the things that the CDC, the CAR, NAR, SRA are, everything, all of those guidelines when it comes to showing properties. It's happening. We sold 98 homes in the last 7 days. Okay.
Wow.
Closed in the last 30, went from 186 to 185, so that's about the same. Back on the market. This is interesting. Back on the market is 17 in the last week. What does a back on the market mean? It means that they got into escrow, and for some reason, the people backed out. Now, this could have something to do with the fact that what we were talking about when it came to the notice of unforeseen coronavirus circumstances. It could be that maybe somebody got the virus, or it could mean that they just decided, you know what, wasn't the house for me. And so that's kind of an interesting thing. On hold, 16 were put on hold. And so we have a total of 71 on hold right now. Price changes, and this is something that actually means something to people. Price change last 7 days, 38. So now that's about 8% of the market have actually gone and said, I'm going to put my house on the market, and it didn't sell. And it didn't sell for a few reasons, but one of them probably might have been price. Now, it may have been condition. It may have been the fact that they were just flat out overpriced. And I think sometimes realtors make a mistake. They get so excited. They go on a listing appointment, and they listen to the person, and the seller says, well, I think ours is worth more. And because the agent wants the listing so badly, they actually say, so what do you think? I would like to list it for $20,000 over what you think it's listed, And they say yes, and they actually list it for that. And then they fight for a price reduction, which is not a good thing, right?
So bad idea. You got to. Sometimes you have to stand your ground as an agent with your client.
Exactly.
Correct?
And see, here's the problem with that. The problem is, as soon as you actually list and goes in the MLS, you start what they call a days on market. Everybody looks at days on market. If your house is been listed for 2 days and you really like it, you want to jump on this house. You want to say, hey, you know what, it's a great house, and all of a sudden there's 5 offers, and that's terrific. However, if you're on the market for 127 days because you overpriced it for the first 3 or 4 months, what happens is the buyers look at it and say 2 things. Number one, what's wrong with this house? And number 2, obviously they're dying to sell now, and I'm going to actually come in really, really low. Okay, so those are 2 problems with pricing it too high. But like I said, some agents, they just want to actually get the listing. They want to be able to say, look, let me get them under contract, and then after a while I'll beat them up for price reductions, and that's a terrible way to list homes. It just doesn't make any sense. If you want
and
the
it can backfire. It can backfire, right? Because
absolutely.
6 months later, when the listing contract comes up with your client, they've moved on to Phil Nordella because
absolutely.
Part of it is you have to, I think, remind your clients that it's in their best interest to listen to what you're saying, and obviously you need to have a good agent who can really give you good advice and you can really trust in that regard.
Yep. And so if for some reason, and so sometimes people say, well, I'll just change the back on market by taking it off the market for a couple of days, and I'll just put it back on the market and it'll start over. It doesn't work that way. If you actually take a home off the market and you want to reset the days on market, it has to be off for at least 3 months. So that's a problem, because then you got to say, well, okay, if you want to change dates on market, that's not a problem, but we just have to actually take it off and not do anything with it for 3 months. So that's an issue. So let's see. Now, here's the other thing when it comes to by the numbers. Conforming rates, when it comes to the actual interest rates right now, the conforming rates are under 510,000. They're actually very good, 2.875. I know we're running out of time. With no points. Okay, that's amazing. FHA and VA rates are ultra low as well. Anything under $510,000, you're going to get an amazing, amazing rate. Okay, anything over that, but the good news is jumbo loans over 765 are finally coming back to life. Now they're going to cost you a little bit more. There's some upfront costs. Prices at 3 3/4, but with 2 points up front. Okay, a high balance loan doesn't really matter. A high balance loan.
They're playing you off the stage.
They're playing me off. Oh my God!
So
get the
finish
hook.
your speech.
Get the hook.
All right, how can we get in touch with you real quickly?
Hey, you know what?
Address?
Call me directly, 661-312-3561, or get on philnordella.com.
Sounds good. Real estate, it's that simple. I'm Rick Garcia. He's Phil Nordella. Enjoy your weekend.